So, the kind of the whole thing that I had going on today was I know that we recently got done with a whole bunch of testing, and here pretty soon we're gonna take our third DCP. I know that I have the instrument, and I know y'all, I think, have at least one more test before the end of the year.
Yeah, one more DCP.
One more DCP.
Social studies.
And
I just have social studies.
So
I
you've
don't
already
have
done your,
another.
Oh,
okay.
you don't have any more DCP?
I checked with Miss Parks and she said, no, we only have 3.
Science
But I
has-
can make you one if you want one.
Wait,
Okay.
I think science has one more.
We haven't taken our third DCP yet. Have you taken your third DCP for science?
I do have
Okay. So either way, I know that.
We have one more DCP.
Okay, so we're all about to get to that point where we have a third DCP. So I wanted to take a second to kind of like go over the like how we're gonna do the data and everything for that. Just so at the end of the year, you know, as they move up, we can kind of see like these are our weak spots to work on for next year. Like Miss White will know like that group of kids and have some good data coming in for her instead of just kind of getting them all blind and everything, like, cause we know what you're saying, but like, that way she can see the hard numbers and then I see hers coming up into me. And just, you know, I feel like if we can get on the same page with all this, it's gonna be really good stuff for us to know all, and in a perfect world, eventually we'll get kindergarten through second in here too, but that requires.
So I thought about sending, their data folders with them to
Okay.
4th grade.
Mhm.
So those just travel, so you
Okay.
can see, but, you know, it doesn't list off teaks on there.
Yeah, and so that's the thing is, especially as we go through this, so what I like about this, and I was gonna come around and show y'all, cause I've completed a version of this, but it, what I like about this is if we do this for the third DCP, I did it for DCP 2, but, it's going over like what works well, what doesn't, I didn't fill out that part, and so that way, like, once we get all the teaks across, we can be like, this is this group's great teak, this is this group's teaks that they need to work on, and so it limits it to 2. And then on the back, we can go and like list 2 teaks, what our plan was for them, and we can have like, you know, I'm making up a number teak here, but like 5.6A, we can be like, we had these students struggle with it or something like that.
Okay.
So, I wanted to take today to kind of go through that. I know you had a question about, your approaches, how that was looking at.
Mhm.
Sorry.
The 15%.
Yeah, for the
13.
African American, why did not meet approaches and meets grade level all say 18.5%?
So if you're looking at it from the other view, like if you're going here, then what it's doing is approaches are better. What this is doing right here is it's breaking it down specifically into each category. And so it's not saying meets are better, it's saying this is all your kids that got meets. I think you just happened to, well, no. So
We're at 24% met and 48 mastered.
that might just be the way that it worked out for that specific sub-pop, because here, it might have just been an honest to God coincidence for that specific sub-pop, that you
Okay.
had the same amount. Because I'm looking down at your other sub-pops down there,
And they're
and they don't do
different.
the same thing. It might just be an honest to God coincidence that it worked out that way with,
Huh.
with that sub-pop. Because it still has the masters at a different one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I wanted to go through this and just kind of like pick our most recent test. If you wanted to do DCP 2, you can do DCP 3 and go ahead and get a head start on that.
Yeah, I mean,
But so kind of have us all go through that. So I wanted to give us a little bit to work. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Give us a little bit to go through that step by step. I'm gonna
Okay.
do our most recent one.
so where am I?
Can I use our unit check? We just did a unit check.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, and I wanna go back, once me and you have DCP 3, I
Mhm.
want us to go back and do that, but just so that we know how this works.
Okay.
And so I'll go ahead and, since I've already pre-filled this out, I'll go ahead and go through our last unit check as well.
Okay.
And I'll give us, say until 4:20, about 9 minutes to go through this and
Oh.
fill it out.
Type of assessment, what am I writing? 'Cause
Are
I
you
wrote-
doing DCP 3?
I put unit check. I put unit.
Okay, but what do I write for test name? It's the same
DCP
thing?
3, yeah, it's the same
Okay.
thing. And it does, I know it meets here, what you're putting specifically is the
Percentage?
percentages of meets are better. This specific form doesn't particularly care about approaches, like, 'cause we're shooting in a perfect world for all of our kids to be at grade level. So when it says like list the meets percent for each different student group,
Mm.
and
Oh,
so,
below, okay.
Are you talking about this section?
yeah, so when it gets there, and that's why we might need to change your view a little bit, cause then it'd be adding, can I,
Yes, please, cause I don't know what to do here.
if we go here, and then to, where's your DCP three at? I can go fast, hang on. So we can go to third, audio, 11th grade, that's on.
I don't know.
And then science. And DCP three.
Oh, no, sorry.
And then we go to apply, and then we can go to, so you can see this, and then this is like where it has the meets, like, so you had 72.41% meet or better. That's also including all these kids that hit this over here.
So meets includes the meets
Yes,
plus
so-
masters and.
Yes, so that way it gives you a
Yeah.
nice even pretty number right here, so you don't have to go and do the adding, you can just look at like, you have your economically disadvantaged, so now you know you can just look at the 68.57 and put that down for eco
How'd
districts.
y'all get there?
So if you go to this one,
Huh,
we'll go forward, science. Did you do this, so you can check?
Mhm.
Okay, so apply. And then if you go to this,
Okay.
it has this, so that's all like this approach is grade level. It makes it sound like that's the amount of kids that approached and that's it, but that's approaches or better. And then so
okay,
you
and
have
we're
meets
just
or better.
doing meets, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
so-
only looking at the meets.
At the meets category, we're
for
not,
each sub-pop.
yeah, cause in a perfect world, that's what we want to be at 100%, cause that's all kids are at grade level. If approaches is behind.
I like this, I didn't know this was.
All students would be.
And then let me know whenever you get through that part, and I can show you how to break down like each teak in there, like exactly how each group did for each teak.
I think that's where I would.
For Asian, is that we don't have that on there.
What I would do is if there's none on there, that means you didn't have any students in that sub pop for your grade, and so I would just put NA for that. Like
And
I
then
don't have,
HI/PAC, is that Hawaiian Pacific?
yeah.
So
I don't think we have any there. And then unless you see it, I know I don't have any ELLs.
Presentation. Mm. 100%.
It does have, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself when it said the list meets or better. It does want to know approaches, meets, and masters, but then when you get below that, it's only interested in the meets. So, right, here, this is talking about the overall.
I got that,
Okay. Okay, cool, sorry.
but I didn't get it off this, I got it.
No, that's fine, that's better than
And
what,
then, okay.
yeah.
Because
What's your question?
the numbers are different.
What's that?
No, you know how we see up here it's like 7%, so mine.
So,
But then it says here.
yeah, so I didn't get this here, I got this off of the other,
But so we keep it.
I'm keeping this, and then all of this is gonna go on the sub-pop meets for each group.
2 or more. 40%. English and Moonlight. I have some, but it doesn't show points.
So, and I do need to ask that question too, cause I know that I have some that go to Bankston,
Mhm.
and I don't know why they're not showing up as ELLs, because I know they take the telepass and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but that sounds like it's a problem with how it got input into
I mean, I
it.
do too, and they're not on here at all.
And I think that that's some sort of problem that whoever inputs this into Aware needs to fix. So, I know the big thing as a campus that we are pushing for is, Ms. Collins was saying that our sped and white sub pops are falling behind. I don't particularly, is that what y'all are seeing right here?
100%.
What are you seeing
For which one?
for our white sub
For our
pops?
white, I had.
You have, that's one of your
50%.
higher ones too.
Yeah.
My sped is 40%.
My sped was 53.85 on, just on this unit check though.
So your sped population beat your overall average then,
Mhm.
and then did your sped pop beat your overall average too? For the 72,
What?
you were 72%, so I mean, it dropped, but
But they've grown.
yeah, they
But I
have.
also have one student that just, he won't
Okay.
try.
Okay,
And he just, no matter what I do.
and has that been consistently like all year long with that student?
Correct.
Okay, we can brainstorm, but I don't know, at this point in the year, what we can do, we can brainstorm some stuff there. Have
I don't have the energy to brainstorm for
Yeah.
that student at this time.
Okay,
It's, yeah.
okay, noted.
I just, we can brainstorm about my other little students that maybe,
Yeah,
they're still reachable.
right, and that's the thing, is like, yeah. at this
I'm not
point-
giving up on him, but I just,
Right. Okay, so if we go to, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
It's okay.
I'm not- do we got our numbers down at this
Yes.
point? Okay, so up there where it says student scores, if you click on that, we should be able to click student learning standard breakdown too. And that'll break down each individual TEK, like how that student did across the board for all the TEKs.
okay, student learning what, standard breakdown?
Yep. And then also, I'm sorry, let me let y'all look at that for a second so that you can see that.
I wish somebody had given us a lesson on how to
Oh, like,
kinda
just go
use
back to the
this
normal fee?
at the beginning of the year, and maybe that's something that could be brought up.
Yeah, so I think that that's a big thing that, like,
How to look at everything.
I know it's one of those things where we don't know what we don't know, so we don't even know to like ask a question. And I think that's the problem that they have too, is they don't know what we don't know. I think a lot of people assume that we go into it knowing things and,
Yeah, but
No.
not every school uses Aware.
yeah,
We didn't.
yeah, so maybe what I'm hearing is maybe like having that could be brought up during cruise week, actually. Let me write that down. Be something I bring to their attention during that cruise. You haven't been here for cruise week.
I don't.
So cruise week is like for PD hours during
Okay.
the summer. It's completely voluntary. No one makes you do it or
Yes, I
anything.
don't go.
But and yeah, it's because
It's a voluntary.
Well, but only, I don't go because it's like a week after school, right?
Yeah,
The
and
next week
so-
after we get after school and I'm
if you go to it, like it can count towards your PD
Yeah.
hours. I think
Okay.
if you present, I don't know how they do this. I don't know how that works logistically. But if you present and do the PD yourself, like you get to double block it for your PD hours. So if you do 2 hours worth of presenting, you get to like log 4. But yeah, that can be brought up, having like an Aware workshop or something where all the things are taught
Yes,
Aware.
yes, that would have been very helpful for me.
And so that lets you know all your students individually. If you want to see how, like, as third grade you did across the board, you can go to the same location and click step 1, find your lowest performing SEs. And that'll let you know, like, across the board, like, I can see that for 4.12B, like 85% of the questions were answered correctly.
And how, what was it going to do?
So if you go to,
Back under here,
yeah, and then step 1,
find your low, okay.
Okay,
and that'll let you know specifically, like, you had, what was it, 5 questions going over that TEAG, and it was answered with that percentage of accuracy.
That's pretty high to be the lowest people.
Yeah, so like for this test, it was,
It was 3.6C.
okay, so
Right?
yeah, that lets you know right there that was, now granted, it was only, maybe it was that one question, we don't have a lot of data to go off of that, and I know that,
It was
you know,
just
we
one
didn't write
question.
it, but something about that question stumped them, because only 1 out of 3 kids was getting it right. So,
Okay.
and I know that y'all were looking at the other one where you can go click on like the question and it shows you like the breakdown, so that kind of just gives you the shortcut of like, this is where they struggled, you go and look at the other end where you get the whole view, like they were doing this. I feel like what this shows you is a better whole picture, what y'all were looking at earlier,
Yeah,
it shows you a
not-
better like individual, like, this is how my class answered the distribution with it. So I wanna give us a second to kinda like go through where it says consider the assessment.
But if
what
that's
was
my
it.
lowest peak at 36,
Yeah,
and then the next is 61%, then 65, and then 75, up to 87%.
so what, let me ask, what was that?
3.6C, predict, observe, and record changes in state of matter caused by heating, cooling,
Let me
a variety of substances such as becoming liquid water, condensation forming on the outside of the glass. That was covered way at the
Yeah,
beginning.
and so maybe it was
But
just
we
like.
did a couple of quick reviews,
Okay,
and I also had questions in Aware, in the review that I had made. But they kinda did struggle with that one in the beginning too.
and so, has anyone shown you how to like compare 2 tests next to each other at all? Like, same thing, you can see the same thing, but you could pull up DCP1 and see exactly where they were at the beginning versus compared to that?
Mm-hmm,
Okay,
yeah, Park showed me.
okay, awesome, so. I know for us, 5.6.
Which I was gonna ask. Yeah. I don't understand that.
Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. So grades, 5th, I'm wanting to see how we did on our unit check with that, cause I wanna compare it, like, was that something we struggled with as well? So 5.6C, we got 58%. But I think this goes over, yeah, 5.6C goes, that C goes over way different things than y'all. You said yours was like, what was it, sorry?
Predict, observe, and record changes. It's a lot. This is a big T.
Yeah, ours is mainly
Let me open
solutions.
it. Better where I can read it. And record changes in the state of matter caused by heating or cooling in a variety of substances such as ice becoming liquid water, condensation forming on the outside of a glass, or liquid water being heated to the point of becoming water vapor. This right here, that part is where they have struggled.
Oh, yeah,
That last part for sure is where they struggled.
knowing that, like, something about like they can't see it anymore, so, okay.
They don't remember the word vapor, and they don't remember the word gas.
How did they do with condensation, like knowing what condensation?
They struggled a little bit with that.
That was always, for my 5th graders, that was the big thing that, they
They
struggled
struggled with that in the beginning, and then we did some little, activities
Okay,
where, I covered, the glass of water with some, what do you call it? I'm so tired.
I get it.
Saran wrap.
Saran, okay,
Saran wrap. And we took it outside at recess and set it in the sun.
yeah.
And while they played, we waited and then we checked it before we went to lunch.
And that
then
was
they were
a-
able to see.
Yeah, that was at the very beginning of the year too, when it was a little hot outside, so probably.
Extra
sped-
hot,
Yeah,
yeah.
so sped that process up.
Correct.
I don't know how I would compare directly to that, cause I know my 5.6C goes over something way different, we're going over solutions for
Mhm.
that.
Okay.
Miss White, do you know, can you pull up on yours, where 4.6C goes, it'll be like the first unit check. I think for you, if I remember 4th grade correctly, it was also solutions, that's weird that the complete.
We're going back to DCP one or just?
So if you go, yeah, if you just click science right there, it's gonna narrow it way down. I would do unit 1 21, just because I know that the 6 is gonna be right from the get-go.
And then go back to lowest performing. Oh, let's just see if it is a lower. 4.6C.
Well, it'll list all of them, it's just gonna,
It was our lowest performing.
can you slide that over to see what that is?
Demonstrate that matter is conserved when mixing
Yeah.
such as soil, water.
So it's going over mixtures too then, okay. Okay, so, anyway, if y'all can look at the one that you were on, so like for me, I was doing the unit check 7, and just figure out like what you believe, whatever test that you picked, what worked well, what did not. And then also using that lowest area that we just talked about would be greatly beneficial. I'm waving my head starting to hurt too.
So our lowest, the lowest performer, right?
Yes,
Was
for-
4.11C, demonstrate the physical properties of rocks that allow Earth's natural resources to be stored there.
Oh, so like kinda like how oil can be stored.
41%. And
Four-
it was 6 questions.
41%? Okay. So I know recently we went over sedimentary rocks, I think that was our, no, that was landforms. Where did it go? Okay. And then for us, it was landforms was the big thing that we struggled with.
Okay.
I know if y'all can pre-teach deltas, and I'm sure that you remember something about deltas trips them up in 5th grade, they don't understand at all, like, the process, I had to spend so much time with that dang water table back there, just showing them like over and over and over again how that delta,
We did actually cover Delta,
okay.
because we had some questions over them. I don't know if it was on our DCP or our unit or like just the STEM scope, but we definitely went over Delta.
What tick
Okay.
is that for you?
So for me, that is 5.10C. And so something maybe 3.10, I don't know what specifically.
4.2.
We already did landforms.
Okay,
I don't
I
know
think
which
that might
tick
be
it
a
was.
unit,
2 units ago?
I think one for us.
I think it was 2.
and I think they spiraled this one
I
in,
think
I'm
the
just
last
going based
DCP.
off of, so we had 2 questions over it, I mean, but we had, between the 80 students that took it, like 160 times those questions were asked, and only, 40 of them were answered correct, I'm guessing based off my quick division, but,
Okay.
okay, so, I know y'all been teaching a while, have y'all been shown how to get the, star distribution stuff, like, where it breaks down, like, let me start this by saying it how I was told. While every teak is important, some teaks are more important than other teaks. Have y'all been shown how to identify what teaks are more important than other teaks?
Yeah, I got a thing from Ms. Collins that had the
With
the
lead
highest
forward?
tested, the
Yeah.
lead forward one, to let you know was highly tested, was not, and then how many 4th grade teaks are actually on the 5th grade.
Yeah, and that would actually help you too if you don't know that, because it'll tell you what 3rd grade teaks show up on the 5th grade star. I can show you that right now, because it looks like you don't know what.
My whole face.
Yeah.
Almost struck a bus today, Martin.
So if you
Yeah.
can go to, we'll open up another tab.
Yeah. I'm a tab person.
So if we go to lead for.
It's up there, it's popping up.
Okay. No, I'm gonna have to see if I remember. Go to resources. Maybe data tools. Frequency distribution for science. It'll pop up here for grade 5 science, so it breaks it down exactly how many, like, this is all 3.10C popped up one time on the star in 2025.
Okay.
12 popped up twice. Like, it lets you know all the stuff, and then that's how we
So-
identify that
Gotcha.
which one's more important than others. Cause like here, 5.6B only had one. So like, it's important. They need to know it. But between spending a month on that versus a week on something else that has 3 questions, like,
Mhm.
might not be the best use of time.
Gotcha. She actually did show
Okay.
showed me that a hot minute ago,
And yeah, and sometimes it works to get the refresher for it.
for sure.
So, and sorry, while you have that up,
Yeah.
how much, so that I don't have to
Yeah,
spend
yeah.
all the time
What?
looking at it, which one, how often is 5.10? So 2 there, and then 4.10C says not tested, but then 3.10C says, so between that, like, you've got the 1, I've got the 3 for it. So I feel like it is an important take because between the entire like start to finish, when they start gaining that knowledge versus when they end with that knowledge, they're getting 4 questions out of the I think it said 30 questions on the star.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Too.
yeah, that's a little over 10% of the test with that one right there. So anyway, on the back, what I want to do is, and it's saying choose 3 teaks. I'm gonna say that we choose 2 because we've got 3 classes apiece, right?
Mm.
So I would say that, you know, that's 6 boxes right there. We have 2 boxes for each teak, and we can identify which students, I don't wanna say did not master, but did not meet. Cause I would like to hopefully get more of those approaches kids up to masters. I feel like we all have a decent approaches rates, or sorry, meets. I feel like we all have a decent approaches rates, but then bridging that into the meets grade level would be outstanding. Oh gosh, no. I'm gonna go with 5.10C.
Originally based on off of our last unit or like,
So
I'm just looking at the.
in a perfect world, I know she's got DCP3. I just
Which
kind of
one
want,
is that?
my goal for us as a whole is to just know how to fill out this data form so that whenever we do all have our DCP3, we can then fill it out and talk about it and see where we're at so that we're going into next year with like a full understanding of where everyone is.
decision mode.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just
Did you,
lucky and got the head start because she already has her
did you
DCP3.
get your lowest one off, from the other side?
Oh, okay. What was I supposed to do?
Go here, right?
So
No, here, sorry.
here, so and then
Here.
step 1,
And step 1,
and so you can pick your lowest one from there.
so it would be 4.11C. Mm-hmm.
And then from there, once we have that on the back, that's when I feel like you'd wanna go to that first thing I showed where the student learning standard breakdown, where it shows like each individual student, and it might even help honestly in a where to have like both of them pulled up where you can pull up all your like approaches kids and see who's in there, like the ones that are maybe like 1 question away.
Is that the one we were originally on?
Yeah,
Is that
so
right?
I feel like it would, I'm gonna pull it up
On
so
the
that we
single
can.
test analysis?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that up and I'm gonna show you what I mean, cause the words are not wording today. Y'all know we've done so much
Thank-
testing, but. Okay, so on a single test, grade 5th, so what I feel like would be super helpful is if we go here,
Okay.
we can sort this, cause it's saying, you know, like here, like 19 students are one question away, right? So going and balancing that so that we have those students here, not 1, 2, 3, I can immediately go look at those, look at Bernal, Meek, and Tally, and then I can go here and see how they did on that TEK. Like, was that one TEK the one thing that kept them like one question away from meeting grade level?
Where do you see, where do I go to see how many questions they need?
So that would be
for
back in the
to meet
original,
grade level?
that would be back in the
Back where I
original
took the
area that you were in.
statistics.
So you're gonna wanna open up, I would just go to that window right next to it, and then you can
Here?
pull Aware back up.
Is that me? Sorry.
So what I like to do is have it like side by side.
Oh my goodness. Stop.
So then go to single test and whatever the DCP 3 I think is what you were looking at. So then here, if you click there, and so it was saying you needed 15 or 16 out of the 17 points in order to get
That's how you look at that?
that. Those are all the students that were one question away from meeting, right? And what we can do is, since we click that, we can go and sort it greatest to least, and so you can see all your students that hit that 16 mark. And so these are your students over here that were just that one question away from meeting
Is it,
grade level.
is it the last column or row? This one?
Mhm.
I think on the word.
And then he,
Yeah, so, and then scroll
you
down.
show.
So you needed 12 points to get there. We're looking for the students that had 11 points.
Okay.
And so you just go here, click and sort. And so these are your students over here that,
That were one question away.
yeah, and so now instead of having to look through that big, like, list of things, we have very specific students that we're going to look at and we can see how they did on that TEK.
Okay, so this means that Honesty got 16 questions correct?
Yeah,
And
and
in
they were
order
one,
to,
in order to meet, they needed 17. Well, and it could have been that
and
one
then,
question was worth 2 points or something like
right,
that.
right, but this is what is keeping them in the approaches category. And it's showing me,
Well, it's
she, the first two needed one more question to be
to be meets.
at meets. And then these needed 2 and 3 and 4, the way it breaks it down, right?
Right.
Okay,
So
okay.
if we go and look, where was your other?
Right there, I think.
Yeah. So now if we go and look through it
Mm-hmm.
instead of. It's all your students.
They're on the other page.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I live on page 2.
Okay, I don't know.
What do you want?
Just that- your whole list of students. Okay, so now instead of having to go search through, like, what was your lowest take, 3.6C?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having to go through here and find 3.6C and like, we can look at this all day long and we don't know how bad it actually hurt all these students that missed it. But now you can go and look, see if Honesty missed that, fixing that one TEK with her would have gotten her up into that meets category. So you don't have to figure out like which students do I target with this. You know that if Honesty missed it, I'm targeting her with this. Like that's my small group right there.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's right there. Okay, so, and then below, figuring out our plan, because I feel like we also need to set a standard for what's y'all's standard for like, this needs a whole class reteach versus like, I'm just doing small group, like what percentage, cause with me, that 36% that I had, to me, that's a whole class reteach, right there,
Mm-hmm. Well, this would be,
okay.
for me, at 36.2%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to set like a,
If I have a TEK that's 40%, I do a whole group reteach.
okay, anything like from like 40 to 60%, is that a small group to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we will mark that. So for the purposes of this, we'll say that 40% below, we're doing a whole class, 40 to 60 is small group. 60%. And then how do y'all go about planning your small group? Like, what specifically are you doing?
And so for me, I don't have a lot of, like I don't, the intervention blocks that I have, they're not for science and they're not for social studies. They're
Okay.
for reading language arts and
Mhm.
math.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
And they have
so-
you doing that too during that time?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And they do that same thing for you?
Mhm.
Okay, alright.
Because we have the least amount of minutes.
Yeah.
And that's the strangest schedule I've ever encountered, you know. I shouldn't be doing RLA like
Right.
that. Or math, but here's what I do to compensate for that. While after I do whole group teaching, and then when we're partner working, I have kids. I move kids around
Mhm.
from their desk, and if these 3 or 6 need extra on this teak, then I have kids just move to different desks, and so I'm sitting with them or I'm talking with them, but I'm also doing just-in-time interventions while I'm teaching.
Mhm.
So
It's like monitor and adjusting, isn't it? Yeah.
all the time,
Okay.
and that I did that at the other campus. That's where I learned to do that.
Okay.
That's it worked there, and I saw I didn't teach like that before,
Mhm.
and so implementing that has really made a big difference.
Okay.
I'd call them JITIs, just-in-time interventions.
Okay.
And I have a clipboard. I walk around. It has the teak on it, all the students' names.
Mhm.
Check mark if
Aggressive
they got it,
monitoring, yeah.
minus if they don't.
Okay.
And then I go back while I go through it. I go through all the kids, you know.
Mhm.
And then the next day, or right then, I will go back to that group and say, okay, pause, we're gonna flip flop seats real quick, and then I'll go over here. If it's more than it's usually not more than 6.
They just
6
aren't-
kind of seems to be the number, 6 or 7.
There's a joke to be made.
Oh my
Set
gosh.
up myself. Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm going home, Barton.
These kids got me trained to instinctively silence myself as I'm counting. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9.
I love it. Yeah.
Anyway, they
So just a lot of monitoring with that,
yeah.
you know. And I don't sit at that small group table.
Mhm.
I don't.
You
It
got,
doesn't
that
work for me.
whiteboard table.
That doesn't work for me for
Yeah.
science. It does for math.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But science,
There's not a lot of I need to draw this out kind of
No.
thing.
No.
I agree with you. I
Yeah.
tend to use that small group table more as
Yeah.
storage.
Right now it's got soil samples on it
Yeah.
and rocks.
I don't really have my-
And I know that y'all do in 4th grade for your intervention. I know that y'all started breaking up the schedule where it was they had their hour of direct teach and then they have the hour of intervention. Is that working for y'all?
It's more or less like we have an hour of whole group, and then when we come back, it's like they do.
Mhm.
The they do group, they work on, but it's only 30 minutes, so they get 30 minutes to kind of complete whatever we did in that first hour, and then our last 30 minutes is dedicated to intervention, which is
Mm-hmm.
whatever they have me doing for Elon.
Okay. That's.
Hope that's not the same next year.
It's been that way,
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna get used to it then.
right? It's been that way.
If
I think this year we have less minutes. I think they took some minutes from us this year. I think we had 10 more minutes dedicated. I know something changed in the minutes for this year.
Okay.
We had a little bit more time last year, but
Gotcha.
this year we do some.
It is
Well, if, I
an
mean,
ongoing.
if I can keep supporting math,
It is an ongoing thing that we are
Yeah.
working on. 'Cause
I'm
I-
okay to
I
keep
agree.
supporting math, you know.
But yes, I do think that they had more minutes, cause I do know last year I was able to during my intervention time. Now, we only did one intervention last year, we didn't have to do it for every individual class. So that's what kinda changed there, I think, is the fact that we had a rotation where we had a high and low group is what it was, and so like our high group would go to one person 2 days a week, and our low group would go to one person 2 days a week, and so on. But it was only a 1 30-minute block for the day, not having to do it for each individual class. It's crazy big deal that time. That's odd and something that should be questioned. So anyway, I can bring that up with. I don't know that there's anything I can do about anything there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, that's wow. That threw me for a loop. Anyway, so I think the plan. Do y'all have any questions about this at all? Like things that you're just looking at this form and you're like, this doesn't make sense. I know me and Collins worked on it, but this was just like my idea for how we could come together as a group after the DCPs were done and just compare. Was there anything like questions that y'all had for it?
No,
I'm good. Yeah, I like seeing all that we saw. I didn't know we could see all that.
Is there
Maybe some of it I did, but.
something real fast before we go that got brought up yesterday? I don't think you were in there. You left. They're wanting to do a star morning thing for like it's like 5 days or so before the reading star.
On the Saturday.
I believe so.
Yeah, Davenport texted me.
Okay, alright. An idea that we had for it was instead of doing it like by grade level, at least for science, potentially doing it by content. So that way parents can see like this is how what they're learning in 3rd grade gets built upon as they go from 4th into 5th, and then so like I can also be like, this is why it's super important that you stress those foundations with the kids, because if they're not getting this thing in 3rd grade, you might be thinking 5th grade's an entirely different subject, but like if they're not understanding how water moves in a cycle, they're not gonna get how the ocean plays a part in that either. So, I don't know if that was something you were interested in or not, but.
I told her I would help her, cause we were talking about it the other day.
Okay.
I just didn't see her email yesterday,
Yeah.
cause I wasn't checking email, cause you know, we were testing.
Yeah.
So, I didn't have my computer up at all, I wasn't paying.
Yeah.
And then she texted me and said, hey, what do you think? She sent me the flyer looking thing for the 4th, April 4th, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Star Wars, WARZ, yeah.
And is there anything that we can do in like, cause I know that with the math teacher gone, the math scores were slipping a little bit. Is there anything that we can do to help 3rd grade out there at all? Cause I know that while he was here, they were killing it on there.
Yeah, right now, I think they're in 3rd place, they're kinda in the middle of the
Okay.
district. I met with Jenny today
Okay.
and talked. You know, I was thinking about this, I was thinking about some of your high learners partnering and doing peer
That's a
help
great idea.
in the classroom.
Because we do
With
have
them.
several, I don't know about 5th grade, I know 4th grade has several
Actually-
strong.
So
I know
not our
some
I'm a counter that. Instead of our like super high learners, what about not our super low ones, but like our ones that are low that it might be more at like a 4th grade to high 3rd grade level, going back and helping those 3rd graders out with that might help solidify some of that basic like knowledge that they need for 5th grade, and then you know they get to have that experience of helping, because they don't get to help out a lot of kids with them being a little behind, but yeah, that way the high learners might be able to be in there and be pushed to that next level, and then the ones that need that like more basic foundation, they can go back and help them with that.
Yes, however we could work that,
Okay.
I think that would be great.
Okay. Alright, I will get with Miss Daniel then and talk with her about that.
Okay.
She is pretty protective of her time, but if I can get her on board with that, then I know that,
That's understated.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's an understatement.
so I'll work with her on that. But anyway, so
Okay.
next time we meet, hopefully we'll all have the DCP3 and
Yeah.
I
that'll
do
be
have
what
a
we.
DCP3.
Yeah, you have the DCP3. We haven't taken it yet. I'm taking mine next week. So
First in the district.
that'll be our plan.
No one would ever know.
No,